Well, good Sunday evening to y'all. As it's end of the day, and I wanted to come in and do my daily live with you, sharing a thought provoking idea, hopefully, and encouraging you. As always, I thought I would sport a little um, throwback to my UCLA days of my management development for entrepreneurs, which was a great experience I got to do through former company Bargus, working with Angela DePoli there. So just doing a shout out, UCLA Anderson School of Management to you for you tonight. So I thought the question I wanted to come up with you tonight was, and this came up while I was sitting in church today, and we're reading and learning some things. And there's some different letters and some interaction in the book of Revelation where we're talking to different churches at the time, and Paul's writing to them, and some of them he's giving them an admonition. Some of them he's giving an attaboy, but also an admonition. Um, why I'm bringing this up is I want to ask you the question though. Are you a barrier? Are you more of a barrier, or are you more of a bridge? And I was having this great conversation with Hector last night. You inspired me, Hector. Uh, he's another warrior trainer coach along with me, and we were brainstorming and we were talking about you know our unique talents and abilities and where we can help others. And one of those areas that I strive to do is to be a bridge between different parties, different entities, people that have, maybe not always the same goal or shared vision, but how do we get folks on the same page? How do we help be more of a bridge than a barrier? Um, for those of you that follow me in the wildlife world, there's a big wildlife bridge being built right now here in Southern California to help wildlife traverse major freeways, major barriers. And I've done a lot of work and studies in that, looking at where there are barriers to movement. How do we create linkages, connections to help with gene flow, to help with overall health of the natural world? But it applies the same in our personal relationships and our professional relationships. Is are you adept at breaking down barriers, or if and or you could be both, depends on what area of life in, or are you able to make the bridge? Are you able to lay down the drawbridge, so to speak, because there's a barrier that allows people either to come into your world or you to go into their world, right? If you think about a castle in the traditional sense, and there's a moat, there's a barrier, right? There's a barrier put up. Why is a barrier put up? Well, oftentimes it's for protection, right? It's for protection from the outside because we do not want to be invaded, right? So, however, there's only so much you can do, and at some point you need to lay the bridge down to get supplies to go out, and you can only stay up in a stronghold for so long, and both are important, I should say. But the question I'm really posing to you tonight is: can you be a bridge? Are you able to be a bridge? Are you able to lay it out? Are you able to connect two different groups, two different individuals, possibly, because that's what, in my mind, a coach does. Is a coach can help be a bridge to where you're at and where do you want to go, right? For those of us that believe in Christianity and Christ is a bridge, meaning we are in one place, sinners, broken. We want to get to wholeness on the other side, and there's a gap, there's a barrier in between there, right? So in Christianity, we believe that Christ came, he died, he bridged the gap there, to get us into fullness, get us into righteousness. And so from a spiritual perspective, you can look at that. What is that? But this could be in your personal relationships just as well, right? Are you being a bridge and a connector to others? Are you able to do that? Are you able to lay down? Are you able to open yourself up to lower the defenses, if you will, the barriers, because there's risk obviously when you do that, right? There's risk when you lower the barriers because now there's a chance that you may be wounded, you may be hurt. And oftentimes we build and erect barriers, again, like I said earlier, to protect ourselves. If you think about a castle and a moat, that's a great, for me, a great vision of that. But we can do a lot of other ways we can barri provide barriers that limit our connections to one another. And so I wanna just give you thinking about this. If you're not a bridge or you're not a bridge very often, or you're feeling like maybe it's partly open, but not all the way, and therefore I'm not able to connect better. Um, that's one of the things I personally specialize in and I'm passionate about. And some of those are better. Some of us are better at this than others. Candidly, it takes time. It takes intention to practice lowering the bridge and pulling it up, lowering it and pulling it up, because we do want to be cognizant, if you will, if there is danger or there's a true uh, a threat, if you will. We need to be cognizant of when we're extending ourselves and putting ourselves out there. However, I will say more often than not, we're probably putting erecting barriers, which we don't necessarily have to do the barriers because it's our own self-imposed kind of fears, doubts, worries, anxieties, less than the external world is putting out there. And so what happens is when we do that, like, I don't know what the person's going to think. What would they say? I get defensive. I get anxious, right? We start to build up the walls, and then our language is similar in that regard. It's defensive in nature, and it's we're poking back because we don't want to get hurt, and we want to kind of present a story in a certain way. But when we can lay the defenses down and knowing who we are, right? Knowing we're coming from a place of abundance, knowing we're coming from a place of I can help you, right? When we come from that place, it's a much more powerful place to be, and it actually strengthens the relationships when it's done right. Now, this isn't something that's just done overnight, and it's something that I've worked on for many, many years, and it's something I help with clients to this day. Is there are times and there's nuances to navigate, and how it depending particularly on the parties and the woundings, and there's a lot of other things that I can't get into right now. But I do want to encourage you in this regard. If you do feel stuck and you're like, I don't feel like I can be a bridge more often than not, I feel like more often than not, I have to erect barriers. Well, I'd want you to really not just think about that, journal it. I use the stack tool like I've shared with you guys in the past. And this is why I'm very passionate about sharing, going live with you. I am actually going to be launching a webinar coming up here shortly. So it'll be a longer form opportunity for those of you that are interested to go deeper into the program, learn more about what I'm doing. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. It's just an opportunity to sign up and to learn more. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you and you're like, David, definitely, I feel like I'm more of a barrier than I'm a bridge right now. And I know if I'm a bridge, I'm going to actually be more impactful in the way I show up with my marriage, in the way I show up with my kids, in the way I show up with my work, my spiritual connection. If I can open myself up, if I can let the drawbridge down, if you will, right? We can get in that better place. So you think about that tonight as you go into the week. Where are you showing up as a bridge? Where are you showing up as a barrier? Which one's coming up for you more often? And is it working for you? Because I have I have this question that I go through folks and asking them, is this really working for you? Are you happy with the way things are going in your conversations, in your relationships with your wife, with your coworkers? Are they being drawn to you, or are they being distant from you? Are they pulling away from you? Are you feeling like you can't have that deeper, intensive, uh, more intimate conversation and sharing and connecting, right? If you are, reach out to me. I've got amazing tools and resources. Those are there. I can get you in there. It's about getting you transformed, getting you unstuck, if you will, from these circular ways of being, I call it the karma cul-de-sac, where we kind of think we're doing things, but then we end up in the kind of back in the same pit, if you will. That's what I'm passionate about in Steward Your Business and Your Steward Yourself program, the coaching program that I offer for individuals. And so this is what I'm about. This is what I committed to in 2024, is continuing to provide the opportunity for those that need it, and to invest in themselves, and knowing that they've got somebody that's gone before them that has become and moved from being more of a barrier to a bridge, moving that place. That has been so powerful in my marriage. It's been so powerful in the way the people I work with, organizations that I get to collaborate with. And so if you're needing help in that way, whether it's an individual coaching, or maybe it's just something that, hey, I can use a consultant help in my company, and we're stuck, we need that help in having those conversations, reach out to me. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to help. And I just want to encourage you this week, consider how you're showing up as a barrier or a bridge, and let's get after it. Let's get after it. I would love to hear from you. Wishing you guys an amazing Sunday. I'll be back tomorrow, Monday. Have an amazing last week of February. Here we go. Coming fast and furious into March. We are going into the end of the first quarter here. One more month to go. So I wish you guys well. Have an amazing week. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye.